whole era where it was literally like, you know, yeah, I mean, not only the adjustable rates, but it was just like, hey, bad credit, no problem. I remember there was so many commercials just saying like, all of a sudden, all these things were available to people who had bad credit and that hadn't really displayed the ability to pay bills on time or pay bills up through the point where something was paid off. And they started to extend that to everyone. Then there's all these places, you know, I know I went to buy furniture, you know what I'm saying, just when I moved to Philly, and they were talking about, you know, you can get this and not have to make any payments on it for a year, or there's no interest for a year, or whatever. But I just think that such a gap was created between actual currency changing hands and all this financing. We created a pit, you know what I'm saying, in our economy. And in my opinion, though we as people were going to suffer through not having, we're going to suffer anyway, first of all. This is a Band-Aid that they're putting on, and it's a Band-Aid that is lining the pockets of a lot of higher-up people very nicely. Anytime you see the business roundtable behind something, you know it's some straight bullshit. Because the business roundtable was assembled in 1972 as a group of corporate CEOs to make sure that the overall view of the corporation in America was that make sure that corporations were seen in better light in America. So it's just like the very fact that the Business Roundtable got behind this and spent money. I think they put something in the New York Times. I can't remember. I got to look into it more. But they promoted this bill, and that immediately just makes me want to say fuck them and fuck the whole bill, because it can't be good for the people if they're because despite what neoliberalists think, a healthy market does not equal a healthy people. Okay, it's just like if you're able to give people loans or whatever, and your pockets are swelling up, that does not mean that the people out on the street who can't get health care and that can't even live in the home that they tried to buy and supply for their family. We're not doing well out here. Okay, the whole fucking theory is flawed and fucking realized in my opinion.
2008 election has had more build-up and anticipation than any in recent memory. Who does Mr. List support? Why?
Well, let me tell you, man, as a black man in America, it's very hard not to come to, and at points I have come to, the lure of having a black president. It's impossible not to. There's gotta just be anyone black in this country, you know what I'm talking about, okay? There's been so much. I mean, for me, you see how I look every day when I step out my house. I face this person because of how I look. Not only because of my skin, but the fact that, you know what I'm saying, even my own people don't understand how I'm just coming out here like the ancient Mau, just repping, you know what I'm saying, on some real, I'm not combing my shit. But look, the facts are the facts that, Barack Obama, what he's saying to us is definitely, in my opinion, more desirable than what John McCain has to offer. In terms of, he's at least playing the card of trying to represent for the American people. However, as we discussed in Norfolk, there are a lot of people that control the President of the United States, no matter who he is. A lot of these people do not have the best interest of the people in mind. So Barack Obama is an icon for hopefully change. It's something that a lot of us, I think, will fawn over and embrace, but ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, it is a distraction. Because what we need to be focused on is the fact that, again, the theories that run this country in terms of the way that the money flows in this country and the way that the actual people in this country are looked at and allegedly taken care of, the fundamentals are flawed, and there needs to be a revamping instituted by the people of this country, far outnumber the wealthy, to change the way that business is conducted in this country. I do not have all the answers. I just know that there is a fundamental flaw. But anytime you see the level of decay that has arisen, just over the last 8 years in this country, there are huge fundamental problems.
This is an unscripted question, but it sounds like we might be ripe for a revolution at some point.
It sounds like it, but the question is, do they have us so concerned with all the things that we own? Do they have us so concerned with, watching our football games, as I openly admit I'm addicted to, and all the things that we love about being a part of the American society, that we are all so unwilling to risk what we've got, and I think that that's something that we all have to ask ourselves as Americans. It's just like, how are we going to benefit more? Are we going to benefit more from continuing to believe in that piece of paper that they give us that's not connected to the gold standard anymore, and thus is currency? And I mean, I'm not an economist, but it doesn't, the value in that piece of paper comes from up here because we believe it. It's not because it's connected to an actual value. So, you know, are we strong enough? You know, I pose a question to not only myself but the whole American populace. Are we strong enough to just view it as what it is, a piece of paper? You know what I'm saying? And take the power out of the hands of people that are pressing, you know, are literally sitting in the mint right now. You know what I'm saying? The U.S. Treasury just, you know, them printing up a fresh $700 billion. You know what I'm saying? To line their own pockets and all that. You know, we gotta change our thinking, and it's not gonna be an easy thing. It's not necessarily immediately gonna bring an era of prosperity, but I think that what it would eventually do is make things feel a little bit better in here. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately that's what's suffering. The soul of the country is suffering, and the soul of many other nations is suffering. As on the film that I recently watched by Aaron Russo,
Freedom to Fascism.
America, Freedom to Fascism. As he said, there's 190 countries in the world, I believe, and America has bases in 130 of them. Don't sleep on that. This is a cult. Okay, this country has a cult doctrine that they are instituting on the rest of the world. That they are very forceful in instituting, and they have no regard whatsoever for human life. If you don't believe it, ask yourself if you have health care. Ask yourself if you're able to get the type of education that you want to for yourself and for your kids. Ask yourself if you feel stable in your job right now. Because what is a nation if you can't go to the doctor, if you can't learn what you want to learn, and you can't sleep well at night knowing that, you know, the shelter over your head is yours to keep and that there's the possibility of a bright future for yourself.
On a lighter note, you have a unique rap style and it carries over your sense of fashion. What is your style?
My style is almost no style. It's wild. It's like God flash kicking. I just had some flash fried chicken, just like an opera scene, Operation Sever Clean. I'm like a laser beam, and I'm forever keen. I dream at night, wake up, and then I write. You try to bite, go back and play gyromite, use the disc like Shan Fisk went to high school with her. Yo, I'm just random like that, but yo, that's the style, man. It's just, you know, style is just, I don't know, you define it. You know, I just like to come with it. You know, the thoughts. I just try to just paint as vivid a picture as possible. You know what I'm saying? Every time I pick up the pen, man, and you know what this project, what the I Heard It Today project is about right now, is really, you know, I'm trying to capture this era. I'm trying to capture this era where we're going through the housing crisis, the economic crisis. You know, first black president, just all these factors. You know, and just make a time capsule for y'all, you know what I'm saying? And on my MySpace page, myspace.com/MrLif, it's like, you know, I pose questions in my forum, and I take all the views of all the fans that write in, you know what I'm saying? And we build with each other, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm there responding with cats. You know, the best ideas that people bring through, I tell other people, like, look at these ideas. These are amazing. And, you know, my projects are ultimately a reflection of the people. So you define these out. You tell me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just having fun with it. I'm just full of fun. Having a lot of fun.
I think the style you just explained to us epitomizes I status. The I status of the individual.
All right.
So with that, I have to ask you, what is your status, Mr. Lif?
What is my status, man? My status, man, is working class. I'm just out here busting my ass like the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes, you know, I sit there and I just say, you know, I wish that, you know, I wish I didn't have some of the struggles in my life that, I mean, we all wish, you know. I think all of us want to be doing a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's clear that even those of us that have billions of dollars in this nation still think that they could be doing better. Hence the fact that they would rather, you know, kill all of us than not make that extra 10 million. So, but I realize that, you know, what the status of my life is right now is that I'm exactly where I need to be to make an impact on the people that need me most. And to me, that's what's most valuable. You know, so, you know, my whole thing is like, yo, as a community, worldwide, you know, let's keep on building. You know, shoot me your ideas, I'll shoot you some back. You know, and we'll come up with things, and you're gonna hear all of our hard work reflected in my music. You see, I'm a man of the people. You know, and I'm just trying to put our thoughts out there, man. Just trying to be the voice of the people as much as I can, and ultimately gotta represent myself, man, and feel right about what I'm doing. So that's my status. You know.
Yeah.